Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Anita Wong, and I'm a board certified emergency medicine physician and a fellow in anti aging metabolic functional medicine, practicing preventative medicine, preventative aesthetics, focusing on resilient immune health, restoring energy, better intimacy, strong core, anti leaking, and anti sagging to improve quality of life with optimal health and vitality to the end. Well, today I'm going to talk about cancer, right? So this makes a lot of people diseased, right? Uncomfortable, and we're talking about disease. And cancer in this country is basically it's uncontrolled development of cells. It's the second most common cause of death in this country. And I know people who have family members who have had cancer, or they have lost a loved one or a dear friend or close, as weighs heavy on their mind. And how do you avoid this? And we don't want to live in fear, but all diseases, I like to break things down to simple things. It's just two simple things. So it's basically, what is the body exposed to? What are the toxins? What disrupts your normal cellular function? So in functional medicine, I'm looking at the biochemistry, at the pathways, at the genetics, at your cellular level. How is the body working? Is it completely healthy? Does it have mutations, have genetic alterations? What genes do we need to flip on and flip off to make sure we stay healthy and live a long, vital life? So the two things that can cause disease is basically the things that come into the body that is disruptive, causing abnormal cell function. And the other is our reaction. What is the body missing? What are the essential nutrients that disrupt the cellular function of the body? So the body needs nutrients, and where you get them from your foods, right? If they're nutrient dense. So nutrients to be healthy soil, and yeah, you have to get all the nutrients into the foods that you're eating. And those are your cofactors that runs the enzymatic pathways, functions your body, runs through their functionality and your genetics, right? So 25% is your genetics, and 75% is, so you have the catabolic or the breakdown or the toxins that are exposing the body and disrupting function, destruction, and then you have the repair of the body. What do they need? What are the nutrients? So if we ate just, fast food and, just white bread and a lot of pasta, do they have all the nutrient dense things, cofactors to build and repair the body up, so that you have these two things and they become a balance of it? So that's oxidative stress. So it's just simple. What are you being exposed to, and how well is your body neutralizing these things? So it becomes a simple game, a simple process, and you make a decision on your quality of life, what you want further down. So you can abuse the body, use the body, and then as you go down that mature and become more mature, how well is it going to function? And I want mine to function as well as it can, right? So half of the cancers are by genetics, but as we know, the last 20 years is epigenetics. So you may have the BRCA gene, but do you want to flip that gene on, or do you want to flip it off? So you don't necessarily mean that because you have that, you're going to have that cancer. They did studies on twins, identical twins, and one developed cancer, the other didn't. So they lived in different areas, they had different lifestyles, and they flipped that gene on and developed cancer. So you have that choice. So, and then the others are by your environmental exposures, social economic factors, things that are very common that I think most people know is obesity. Obesity increases your risk of cancer. Poor diets increases your risk of cancer, and other diseases. Hormonal imbalances also, because how you metabolize your hormones affects how you detoxify and clear things. Chronic inflammation. So if you're always inflamed, so if you had a sports injury and your knee is hurting, it's always hurting because it's inflamed. That's going to create a problem. Diabetes is well connected. So the other factors that I mentioned are the environmental other things. So your air quality, what kind of air are you breathing? What's spewing out in your area? Are you having more factories and air pollutants? So the quality of air makes a big difference. So in your home, uh, if you're putting in scented candles, using air fresheners, having volatile organic gases from your linoleum floor that interacts with the ozone, that that formulates formaldehyde, that's linked to myeloid leukemia cancers, nasopharyngeal cancers, these synthetic scents that you have, fake fragrances, those link to disruption of hormones and asthma. You need to avoid phthalates. So those phthalates are what those chemicals. So it's not always great to have those little air freshener things. Yeah, I know we all like to unwind at the end of the day, have a little bit of alcohol, right? But a little is okay. Is cardiovascular productive, especially the red wines. Much obviously can produce cancer. You can create problems. It cancer, head and neck cancer, esophageal, liver, colorectal cancers. Um, and the reason why is because alcohol is metabolized to acetaldehyde, which damages the DNA and the proteins, and it triggers that oxidative stress that causing damage to your DNA and impairs your nutrients from being able to be absorbed and increases levels of estrogen. So you have estrogen dominated hormones too that creates cancers. So some other things is also environmental. So sawdust, so wood. So people who work with furniture, making furniture, has more risk of carcinomas. They have a nasal cancer, adenoma carcinomas, and so you want to make sure your place is well ventilated, wear your masks. And one that's sad to my heart because my boys right now are eating a lot of microwave popcorn, and I am going to have to stop them because the food packaging. So you have to be careful about food packaging, and especially fast food. If you eat a lot of fast food, those wrappers, those nice wrappers that they don't get grease stained, and they kind of just repel things, and they kind of slides right off. And the microwave popcorns have those. Well, that's a perfluorinated chemical, and that chemical can stop into your foods, and that produces cancer. Even paper plates and tableware, all of those things have that perfluorinated chemical that creates, that is known to cause cancer. One of the things that we like to say to protect your skin is wear your sunscreen, right? I am partial to the zinc oxide, so non-nano particle zinc oxide, and much better than the benzophenols 3 or oxybenzole. Those trigger DNA damage, cancer growth, the para-aminos, the benzoic acid, oxatyl salicylic, all of those chemicals, those names are too long and too many. Those parabens, oxybutane, you want to avoid those. Stick with your zinc oxide for sunscreen because those are cancer forming. So you're trying to avoid cancer, yet then you're developing other cancers, right? Lack of vitamin D. So if you're avoiding the sun, you're using all the sunscreen, and your vitamin D is tanked, guess what happens? The incidence of breast cancer increases. So you need to get out in the sun, need to make sure you're not overexposed. You make sure that you have used good sunscreen. You have to make sure your vitamin D levels are up. So make sure you get those checked. And you don't want them at the bottom number where people say 30, oh, you're okay. No, they need to be around 60 to 80 to be protective and be functional. Because vitamin D is another hormone in your body. Helps with your immune system, helps with so many different functions in your body. And then there's unfortunately, you can't avoid all viruses, but if you have Epstein-Barr virus, this is going to be a trigger. So you may have Epstein-Barr, maybe you had mono, you had the kissing disease, so you have it lay dormant. And the things that these viruses, when they're laid dormant in your body, the things that will trigger them and get them activated are exposures to pesticide, mold, nutrient deficiencies, injuries to your cells, heavy metal damages, mental trauma. So all of these things will trigger this virus. So in mind, body, spirit, you need to keep things clean and just make sure that you don't trigger them. When you do, you want to avoid this becoming aggressive cancer and turning into malignancy. Even HIV is associated, which is a virus, with Kaposi sarcoma, with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, or cervical cancer. So anything, because you already have something there that's affecting the cells, and then you put in the other toxins, and now your cells are trying to neutralize this. So you're just going to have to be a little bit more careful if you have those viruses. Night shift workers. Unfortunately, there are genes that take a toll that modulate and control your circadian rhythms. And when you are night shift, you're fighting against that. So you're not having the right circadian rhythm, day and night, and the light, and that just creates disruption in the control of your cells, and creates the potential for tumor growth, because they can aggressively grow because the other cells can't regulate themselves, and they're just not on the right sync, and they're there to function, but if they aren't having the right circadian rhythm, they're not going to function to their best. I think you all know or have heard of burnt foods, fried foods. Oh, I love fried foods. They make acrylamide, right? That too much starchy foods that are fried, it forms this. So boiling and microwaving, you have less risk, but grilling is more of a carcinogen. If you use marinades that are store-bought or high in sugar, fructose sugars, anything, that is going to burn more rapidly, and it has the same carcinogenic found in cigarettes. So you don't want to burn sugars, because it causes that heterocyclic amines that is carcinogenic. So if you grill, you want to grill with vinegar-based solution marinades, and not sugar. If you use basil, mint, rosemary, sage, savory, marjoram, oregano, thyme, these actually are a little better protective. You want to kind of, cook slowly on both sides. You don't want to, get that charred, what we all like, a little bit of char in there. If you use your grill more as an oven and slow cook it, would be much better and healthier. Another thing is that sedentary, you got to move the body. That's one of my 4 pillars. One of the 4 pillars of health is movement. So you have to move. So if you are sitting there watching too much TV and have a sedentary lifestyle, it has a propensity for increase your cancer risk. Now, what can you do to fight the cancer? So we know that we want to limit the exposures of the toxins and the pollutants, and we've talked about some things. So you have to look at all the things you apply onto your skin. What are you breathing in? All of these things, that whether they're toxic. And then you want to give some good antioxidants and fighting nutrients and protecting the cells. So I always say, make sure you know how your body functions. So eat the way you want to eat. Come in, let's test your micronutrients. If your micronutrients and all your antioxidants, your B vitamins, all your minerals are all in good levels, then you know that you're fighting it off and you're doing your best. And you can cheat here and there. But if you are eating the way you eat and you test your micronutrients and the cells are crying for more and saying, I don't have enough B6, I don't have enough vitamin A, I don't have enough vitamin D to do the job that I need to do, then we need to adjust. We need to either adjust, you need to do a lifestyle change and make an adjustment on how you eat, what you eat, and then you need to make maybe add supplements. Maybe you are eating clean, maybe you are eating the right things, and even though you're eating the right, your cells just demand more because they have so much more to fight off and take care of. So then we're going to supplement that. And there are genetic makeups of how you process your vitamins. For example, I have a genetic makeup that doesn't allow me to convert beta carotene into the active form of vitamin A. I don't have a vitamin A deficiency, but I just need more support and more supplements of vitamin A to help with getting the amount that my cells need. I also have a mutation in detoxification in two of the pathways, so I need more support in making sure I detoxify. Some of the cancer fighting things that you can do is a Mediterranean diet, very protective against cancer. So that's olive oil. That's you know very minimal grains. It's fruits and vegetables. So obviously, fruits and vegetables, fish, calcium-rich foods, fibers. They decrease colorectal cancer, breast cancer. And that's very helpful, very, very good. So a Mediterranean diet. What is unhealthy is you want to avoid processed meats. So processed meats are not good. Um, Alcohol in excess, I mean, as I said, very small amount, moderate amount. Women need less than men, less, maybe 5 glasses or so a week. Obesity, things like that, is going to cause more cancer. So burnt foods, you don't want burnt and overcooked fried foods. You don't want added sugar. Things that are protective are your leafy greens. So everyone loves those leafy greens. And I always say 9 cups a day if you can. That's going to get you in a good start. So spinach and kale and collard greens, romaine lettuce, arugula, the cruciferous vegetables, very cancer fighting, very good for you. Helps in that phase 1 of the liver to help clear out things, and helps with estrogen metabolism. So you can reduce your hormone-related cancers. Berries, high in antioxidants. You want a lot of berries. Really dark cherry berries. The cherry is good. Anything bright colored, oranges, squash, sweet potatoes, lots of antioxidants, because antioxidants is how it neutralizes it. You have your own antioxidants in your body. You have a system, the NFR2, and this system has 3 antioxidants and it all neutralizes it. But unfortunately, as we mature, the system deteriorates. And so we need to support it. Turmeric is good. Garlic, thyme, cayenne, oregano, basil, parsley. This one you're going to love. Organ meats. You want clean organ meats, but organ meats are nutrient dense. If you're vegan, you're going to be able to get these. You're going to have to supplement because you're not going to have enough creatine. You'll get the crepey skin. So you're going to need to make sure you get enough of amino acids. And the best thing is just test. We can test. We can look at your genetic makeup of your vitamins and test to see how are your nutrients, if it's adequate. But organ meats, beef, chicken, the liver, because it's high in B12, selenium, zinc, very nutrient dense. Some cultured dairy, like raw milk and kefir, all of these fermented things will help because it helps with keeping your microbiome and your gut really healthy. So it helps to when your gut is healthy, it really helps your body, keeps the functioning, helps with your immune, keeps the brain, it's not inflamed, gut's healthy, there's no anxiety, no depression, and you focus well. So you really need to have a good, healthy gut. Chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, walnuts, sprouts. These all have high in omega-3. Omega-3 is really good for inflammation. So the more you have of omega-3, less of omega-6s, you need to have a balance. And omega-3 process is really anti-inflammatory. You want enough of that helps with your eyes, with so many things, cardiovascular. So having enough omega-3 helps with cardiovascular risk. So unrefined oils, coconut oil, flaxseed, cod liver oil, extra virgin olive oil. These are really good. The wild caught fishes, like salmon, sardine, those are high in omega-3s. Very, very good for anti-inflammation, good for cardiovascular. mushrooms, and not the kinds you guys are thinking about, but the reishi and cordyceps and maitake. These are all good cancer fighting. It really enhances your immune system. Um, so, so that's just a little tidbit, little things that give you food for thought. Simple, just two things: decrease your toxic load, make sure you're nutrient dense, and that you got enough stuff so that your little cells, what's going on in your system, can function to its maximum. All right. So that's what I have for today. So if you guys find this information helpful, please share it, pass it along, and let me know what you're interested and hearing about. I would love to answer any questions. Always consult your doctor before you make any changes, and I'm happy to work and collaborate with your doctor as a specialist in optimizing your health. And I can be reached at my website, anitawangmd.com, or 949-734-0580. And you can schedule a complimentary discovery call with me, and we can discuss your issues and see if we're a good fit, and see if we can work together and get you to optimal health and vitality. So till next time, be safe and be well.